Star Wars The Mandalorian is the best apology ever put to television. It makes up for the entire sequel trilogy, but how did I go from liking this franchise to despising it all the way to enjoying it again? Well, I'm as curious as you are. When I heard Disney was making 3 brand new films, I was excited. The Force Awakens was fine, yet way too safe. The Last Jedi had great moments, but severe shortcomings, and Rise of Skywalker was a massive turd. I was done with Star Wars, but around the release of Episode 9, my peers kept raving about this weird Disney Plus show, so I caved in. The Mandalorian is a 2019 space road trip. We follow the titular Mandalorian, a bounty hunter who works on Fiverr. One day, he finds this mysterious baby and vows to protect him. Both of them travel through the slums of the universe while getting into cool shootouts. This show is incredible. It's adventurous, beautifully crafted, and full of amazing action. Writing-wise, it's a bit stilted in spots, yet it elicits more genuine emotion than 5 theatrical films combined. Let's analyze The Mandalorian and figure out why it's such a masterpiece. But before that, I will spoil both seasons. For everyone else, let's jump in. What is a story? A story is defined as a hero's struggle against an obstacle to reach a goal. This is the fundamental glue that holds narrative-driven works together. One way to tell a great story is where the hero is proactive, perseveres against tough obstacles, and learns something profound along the way. On the surface, the show's premise is rather simple. A lone bounty hunter does dirty jobs while nurturing his adopted son on the side. This simplicity brings out a lot of great drama and character development. To achieve this, you need a protagonist you can root for. The Mandalorian's real name is Din Djarin. He's an orphan-turned bounty hunter who doesn't take kindly to outsiders. The prequels literally ruined his childhood. He was adopted into Mandalorian society, a warrior culture that enshrines warfare at its core.
You need to drop your rifle.
I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of my religion.
He develops a sort of samurai code and swears by it.
This is the way.
We see Din take an Empire job to capture a child who's force sensitive, but the power of cuteness convinces him to drop the contract. Not wanting Grogu to suffer a terrible childhood, Din vows to find the child a proper home. Din does this quest out of obligation, but soon learns what it means to truly care for someone. Right out of the gate, Din is a pretty relatable anti-hero. For one, the audience can empathize with the struggle of being a good father. Parents in Star Wars have a really crappy track record, so Din being a good father is a nice change of pace. Babysitting a human child is one thing, but doing it with a 50-year-old alien with magical powers is another. At first, Din picks up Grogu due to his desire of not letting other orphans experience what he went through. Din is distant and business-oriented, while Grogu has a curious mind and an adorable personality. Din struggles with his guardian role, but perseveres and imparts wisdom to the child.
Put the red one where the blue one was. Hold them apart. Well, it was worth a shot.
Their chemistry is super heartwarming, and the animatronics for Grogu totally sell this father-son bond. A good way to invest the audience into your hero is if they have some moral code. Din abides in the Mandalorian creed. No face reveals, and always be prepared for conflict. Din will do anything to protect himself and his tribe. He's quick to draw first, but he also knows when it's viable to de-escalate the tension. Din practices honorable qualities, which make us more invested in his struggle to complete his side quests. It also helps that he can adapt to any hectic firefight. The Mandalorian is primarily an action show, and it does a spectacular job at being one. The show doesn't have the same scope or budget of the sequel trilogy, but it does feature unique set pieces and a hero who's also a creative problem solver. Din is pretty smart when it comes to firefights. For example, in episode 9, he gets jumped by some bandits, but uses his tools to dispatch them. He tricks this Jawa dude with his jetpack and proceeds to murk him. Compare that to the movies, where they just stumble in the dark and hope for the best. When a hero uses their brain to overcome their foes, it makes the action way more gratifying. Din uses tools like grappling hooks and flamethrowers to surprise his enemies. Din is proactive at defeating the opposition. The action is great across the board. It's tense, full of spectacle, and offers variety I haven't seen in Star Wars before. The showrunners thought outside the box with their set pieces. I want to list two of my favorites. In episode 4, Din defends a farmer camp from a pirate assault. It's set at night and the lighting is very horror focused. The AT-ST sneaks up with red eyes and all hell breaks loose. This was the first time an AT-ST actually scared me. It's a good example of building up tension in a way that's unique to Star Wars. In episode 9, Din and two Tatooine clans ward off a crate dragon. It starts off with bait and bomb tactics, but the dragon sees right through the ruse and almost devours everyone. Din makes the risky move of blowing up its stomach. The cinematography does a great job of capturing the size of the creature and the people. Other than ripping off the Alaskan bullworm from Spongebob, it's tense as all heck. Moreover, the show features a lot of intense gunfights, but it never gets to the point you lose track of the action. The fight scenes have a great sense of flow, which the sequel trilogy was lacking. One of the trickiest parts of storytelling is proper pacing. Pacing is the emotional velocity in which your story progresses. If the story moves too slowly, you lose everyone's attention. If it moves too fast, you get Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker has the most horrendous pacing I've ever seen, especially for a big budget movie. It just rushes from scene to scene. There is very little time devoted to characters reflecting on the situation.
Babu, can you make him translate it?
Yes, but it will cause a complete
memory wipe.
12 seconds later.
Memory restoration complete.
Character development? Who needs that? We gotta give the audience what they really deserve. Feelings! Even if it's not earned, like, at all. I'm well aware The Last Jedi put the filmmakers in a tight spot. I had a small hope episode 9 would at least be consistently entertaining, but my god, this movie all around is just terrible. So it's an overstuffed and underbaked script. So what's their best solution? Going at ludicrous speed.
What have I done? My brains are going into my feet.
I'm relieved The Mandalorian avoids this fate. The average episode of Helmet Man lasts for 30 minutes, but it never drags on. The show knows how to balance really awesome fights with introspective moments. We get plenty of time exploring the worlds and the characters who inhabit them. In the Alaskan bullworm episode, the series slows down to explore the troubled history between this Tatooine town and the Tusken Raiders. You know, the crazy sand people from A New Hope? Din works with the deputy in exchange for helping find Grogu a Jedi Master. The deputy and the Raiders want to remove the dragon, but communication hasn't always been solid. Din mediates between both parties and gets them to put aside their differences. He speaks to the Raiders via sign language and he leads them on the creature assault. Like, I did not expect the show to humanize the Raiders. It gives the slower connection building scenes more power while not exhausting the audience. The series gives proper attention to developing its characters, which Rise of Skywalker failed to do. To recap, The Mandalorian beats the sequel trilogy in 3 areas: a relatable protagonist, inventive action set pieces, and great pacing. Do I believe it's the best show of all time? No, it's not a perfect series. The writing can get a little wooden at times.
I have spoken. I have spoken. I have spoken.
Some of the characters don't leave much of an impression, and a few season 2 episodes are just alright. It doesn't aim for complexity, but it does a pretty great job at being a father-son kind of show. To finish off my praise, let's go over the highlights. Firstly, best single parent. Din is the best Star Wars parent to date. This guy can handle a dangerous day job on top of raising an alien puppet. I almost teared up at the end. Secondly, cuteness overload. Grogu is pure dopamine whenever he's on screen. He's the true star of the show. And lastly, all-time favorite. Out of everything I've streamed this year, none haven't gotten me as excited as this one. This show is amazing. If you're burnt out by the new movies, or you're a new fan, this show alone is worth a Disney Plus subscription. This is the way. Thank you for watching. This whole year's been something, but I'm happy we're still here. I like to give a special shout out to all the people who comment on and like these videos. You guys are the true MVPs, and if it weren't for you guys, I don't think I'd keep doing this thing. I'll catch you next time in the January video. Happy New Year! No alien puppets were harmed in the making of this video.